young kid trying to figure out life. It's so funny when people see me who knew me in high school. Like, I was totally the opposite. I thought I was like a little gangbanger, funny dude. I graduated.
Really?
Yeah, I got kicked out of high school. I graduated with a 1.9 GPA. Like, people think I'm lying, but I still got my report card to show it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? You being where you are right now, like, that's a testimony within itself. Like, you don't have to be where you're currently at. You can be somebody else.
Exactly. My homies who were cool at the time, and, you know, they gangbang, they sell drugs, did a lot of crazy things, and I tried to sell drugs, it just didn't work for me. But I just always was around it. You know, I was just one of them dudes where I ended up getting caught. Like, it just always happened.
I know that God was like, we're not making you good at this.
So long story short, I went to this event, and there was like a whole bunch of just young people in college working for the radio station, KJLH, and they happened to be interns. And I took on an internship from that moment with KJLH, and that's how I got hired there. So that was like my story. I was like one of 50 people to get hired. I had no experience. I just was passionate as hell.
Hey you guys, and welcome to the last episode of Tuesday Talks with T. This has been a phenomenal season. I've been able to sit down and talk with so many beautiful people. And today, I have the pleasure of sitting with Mr. Carlton Epic, Mr. Mogul in the making. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I mean, this has been a long time. I've been wanting to interview you for a while. So this is like, finally, it's worked. God has aligned it, set it up, and now we are here. The perfect guy for me to interview for this season. So, you're at KJLH now. What was it like for you working there? Through how many years were you there for?
4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
So what was it like working there for 4 years, having that be your home? Because that's a milestone for someone, especially at your age.
So you want the honest answer or you want the politically correct?
I want the honest answer, Carlton.
Whew, that was like a crazy marriage. It's like you know, you go through that honeymoon stage. Like, you know, they saw my talent. I was grateful for everything that they provided me with there, the space to move how I wanted to move. But I thought of my own digital show. We called it like the Spotlight LA or whatever. And we were focused on like interviewing up and coming talent and all that.
I thought that was with KJLH.
You know, it was a lot.
Okay, go ahead.
So it was a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I thought of the show. I didn't legally take care of everything like I should have. I just thought at the time, social media, website, if it's available there, that's it. I didn't know about trademark and all that at the time. So anybody who's starting something right now, they need to research. Long story short, we did an event and a company owned that name, the Spotlight LA. So I had to stop using that name. And it just turned into like a crazy thing up there. Like it just was a disconnect between, you know, old, new. So that's all I could say. You know, it was an interesting journey, but it really made me realize like just never get comfortable, never get complacent. Just as much as you feel like you may belong somewhere, you may feel like you're valuable. If you don't own it, like, you don't know what tomorrow could be for you, you know?
Right.
And that really made me realize that once I got fired from there. And it just motivated me to do my own thing, go after what I want to do, because being there, it taught me that, like, seeing stuff differently. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you mentioned earlier to me, off camera, that you got
fired. Yeah, I did.
Fired from the position.
Uh-huh.
So what happened?
Yeah, so what happened was, I guess I sent the email out, and it came across as if the station was representing a project that I was doing. So I guess to them it seemed like conflict of interest. But to me, I just feel like it could have been a situation that could have been rectified if we would have talked about it. But they felt something totally different. They felt like a lot of things that I was doing was just kind of conflict of interest. And yeah, they took me off air, and it was literally like 2 days after my launch party for Project Pitt, this happens. And yeah, it was just crazy. Like, it wasn't an in-person thing. It was just an over-the-phone thing from my supervisor to me. Upper management didn't reach out to me, and I was a little insulted by it, because I just felt like, you know, 4 years putting in work, you know, you don't have the courage to talk to me in person. But, you know, things happen for a reason, and it really made me realize never to get comfortable. And that's why I'm going so hard like I am right now for Project Pitt.
So you stepping out for Project Pitt, this is the first time you stepping out on your own.
Right.
It's kind of like leaving your job at Urban Outfitters and going. So this is kind of like a cycle for you. Like, you leaving, being released from KJLH and now having full faith in Project Pitt. Now being your, you know, I don't want to say your moment, but like you stepping out on your own.
Right.
So what did that experience, being released, teach you about having faith in yourself and everything that you're curating on your own?
Right. And that's what it did. It made me so free. And I'm really realizing freedom is having no fear. Mm-hmm. And being released from KJLH reminded me of that, because like when I'm out at events, when I worked at the station, the first thing I would say is, oh yeah, I'm on air at KJLH. So it easily got me in the door, versus now I'm saying I'm Carlton from Project Pitt. A lot of people may not know about it. We just started. So it's a new hustle. I got to move a lot differently. I got to go a lot harder than I did before. Like I was representing myself with KJLH. So it gave me that mindset of, you know what? Like it don't matter if a brand's behind me or not. I can still do what I want to do. I still can go after whatever I want to go after. And I just got to believe in it. And now I have no choice but to. Or it's like, what, I'm just going to sit up here and twiddle my thumbs and just wait for somebody? And that's not the case. So.
Now you as, someone who works in entertainment, have you ever reached or been hit with shade from anybody, and how did you handle that?
Like what type of shade?
I don't know if it's a female thing,
okay,
but girls are just not as receptive as business partners, or just even mixing and mingling and networking. That's why I love particular kind of people. Stacey was dope. She was very welcoming, but you don't meet people like her.
That's true.
All the time.
She's amazing. Shout out to Stacey.
Shout out to Stacey. So how do you deal with? Have you ever dealt with people like that who? Who are you?
Yeah, a lot of times. A lot of times, but particularly women, it's just kind of separating that, sometimes we're, same ages and working well together, but separating attraction is something important. Anytime I work with, my whole team of Project Pitt are 90% women, but I never mess with any of them. I will never mix it when it comes to working. But yeah, it's been times where people throw shade, who are you? What is this project about? Who cares? But you just gotta brush it off and keep pushing. So
yeah, because there's probably so many people who get hung up on those kinds of things. So what's your advice for someone who's consistently hit with who are you? What are you? Because those moments pretty kind of deter your path sometimes and make you want to give up and be you know what, F this, I don't even give a shit anymore.
Right.
Nobody even cares, why am I even pushing through? Mm-hmm. So what is your advice to someone, a young man like yourself, who's trying to thrive on things like that?
Right. My advice is you just got to stay in tune with you. Of course, there's going to be people saying what they want to say, but to me, you're born in this world and alone and you die alone. So it's who cares what this person says? Because this next person may like it. It's just you go to the grocery store. Some people like bananas, some people don't, but they still selling. So you just got to look at it that way. Everybody may not like me, but somebody will. And I'm going to sell regardless. And that's kind of my mindset. All right, not everybody's supposed to like me. Not everybody's supposed to love me, but the right person will, and the right person will see my value, and I'll be marketable. So yeah.
Hey, so you grew up in a single home. You've potentially been out in the streets, not doing what you gotta do. Right. You found your niche, you found your thing, and now you're doing Project Pitt. Do you feel like God has connected you to your purpose now, and you feel like you really have something to thrive and really to go off of and be this is what I need to do. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah, Project Pitt is a community of people who believe in each other, support each other. So no matter your age, gender, sexuality, religion, we all have to start at the bottom of our dreams. And instead of doing it separately, why not do it together? And that's the symbolism of the pit. What is your pit? What's holding you up from reaching your full potential? And we all coming out of this project together, and which is the polar opposite from my childhood. I really didn't have anybody believing in me. So Project Pitt for me is my story. It's kind of my autobiography that a lot of people don't know, where it's this is a community of people believing in you. You got somebody telling you you can do this, and that's what Project Pitt is about. And now I just have no choice, because like I said, freedom is no fear, and I just want to do this, and I got a lot of motivation right now, a lot of just things that happened to me that gave me no choice but to do this, and that's kind of what I'm rocking with.
Yeah. So what do you believe your purpose is?
My purpose is to give people a reason to believe. I come from an area that a lot of people don't make it out of. I lost everything. I lost, jobs. I lost money. I lost my mom. I lost myself. I lost my dad. I lost everything. Anything you can think of, I've lost. I lost my mom 3 years ago, and I was my best friend, my everything. I lost her, So I know what it feels like to lose everything. I know what it feels like to be on that ground and not feel like you can get up. I've been at that point where I was depressed, like damn near tried to drown myself in suicide, man. And shout out to my ex-girl. She like literally came in. We went on a trip and like literally like had to get me out. Like I really was at that low point. And if I can get out of it, you can do it too. And that's just my motivation. I didn't let any of that stuff stop me. As much as I was down on the ground, I felt like life just knocked me out. You know, God has a great way of just getting you back up. And, you know, one of the things I believe in, it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about getting hit and getting back up. And, yeah, I just want to give people the reason to believe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nah.
You, which I would have known that you suffer with depression. I wouldn't have known your mom passed away. I didn't know any of that, you know, because you're not someone who puts your business out there for the world to know. But, like, how did you, what were the steps you took to come out of your depression? Because we don't talk about depression as people of color. We kind of just give it to God and that's it. And we think that's it. So are there things that you did, coping mechanisms, that really helped you bring yourself back to life?
Yeah, it was a lot. Like my mom passed 2014, and I was doing what I wanted to do, but that motivation for me was gone because she was always my motivation growing up. So it was hard for me to connect to what's my motivation now. And I don't know, I just found myself like just sad all the time. And I'm the type of person where I would just always ignore my feelings and how I would feel. But when you start feeling those emotions, they start becoming bottled up. And when they release, it's bad. So I remember one time I was at an event, and I literally was on the ground, like, crying because I kept it in so much. Like, I would just lie to myself. Like, no, I'm good. I'm not thinking about it. But in the reality, I was screaming for help, but I just didn't know how to release it. And once I came to terms with it's okay to cry, it's okay to be sad, it made me feel a lot better. So I started journaling. That's something that really helped me. I wrote a letter. It's like in my apartment. It's like a big poster board. It's a letter from my past to myself and a letter from my future to my current self. So I look at both sides. Like, what would my past say to me now? And what would my future say to me right now? Like, so it just pretty much says, I'm glad you kept going. Look at us now. And my past is like, man, like, who would have thought you would be where you are? And it just gives you that feeling of gratefulness. And really surrounding yourself with the right people, like, especially in this industry, like, I agree with Drake. Fake love is everywhere. And it's sometimes hard to find what's real because everybody's saying good job or everybody's trying to be a part when you're popping. But when I got to that low point, all that stuff was gone. Like, I wasn't at the events. I wasn't at concerts anymore. So a lot of those text messages I was getting went away. And it really hit me like, dang, people don't really care about me for me. Like, they care just about what I'm doing. So from that moment, it really made me pour into, like, family and friends. And I never was one of those people to really care about my family other than my mom. But when my mom passed, it made me see life totally different. Like, tomorrow's not promising. And I really believe in that. So that's why, like, I go so hard because I don't know if there's a tomorrow. So if this is all I got today, I'm going to give it everything that I have. So to bring it back, to answer your question, I would say, like, journaling, not being afraid of your emotions, connecting to whatever you believe in. I kind of ran away from God because I felt like he betrayed me at the time when my mom passed. But as I started to grow and realize it wasn't the case. You know, it was her life, my life is my life. And once I got back closer with God again, it made me realize, like, nah, it's just a story to tell to inspire other people. And so connecting to whatever you believe in and whoever you believe in and surrounding yourself with great people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you think your mom would feel right now to see you on your own, Project Pitt?
I think she would be so happy. Like, she was proud of anything that I did. Like, even when I was rapping and it was horrible, she was there texting all her friends, come to the Key Club, come see him perform. So I know she'll be, like, overjoyed and proud. And you know, that's why I'm doing it, just telling her story, too. Like, even though she's not here to fight, I'm fighting for her and fighting for everybody who has dreams and just want to give people the reason to believe it.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even ask you about your last event.
Oh.
The most recent one.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. I was so sad I couldn't go. Your girl had to work.
It's all good.
But how was that? Because you had a really good panel.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It was inspiring. Like, I actually got to sit down and look at everything. Shout out to my team. They did an amazing job. But, yeah, we had Charles Allen, he's a senior digital producer for BET. Deborah O, she's the former VP of the Shade Room. We had Dom, she does PR and branding and a brand strategist for Disney. Sky Townsend, she was on there. And we had E. Burns, a celebrity stylist. And They all were inspiring people with their gems. They kept it real. And our panels like really focus on the process. We're not just focused on like, okay,
the star.
Exactly. Or focused on like what they do, but unpacking their process and how they got to where they're at. And then we had some amazing performances. Kenyon Dixon, Shawnee Bennett, Mo from YRP. And it was an amazing event. Yeah. So our next event is, you just go to projectpit.com to stay in the loop and find out what we're doing.
That's what's up. And you also have a GoFundMe going on for Project Pit too,
so
right?
Yeah, we're launching our capital campaign. We raised like $5,000 in about like 2 weeks, which is a blessing. So if you want to support, everything is on projectpit.com. Support the movement, and we're just trying to make it happen.
Yeah, support a young brother trying to do positive things out here in the world. On that note, I feel like that's a good note to end it on, the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For coming and blessing Tuesday Talks with T, being the final interview of the season. Yes, Carlton, go ahead and drop all of your, all your social media, where they can find you, the next Project Pit event, if you have one coming up.
Yeah, definitely. You can hit us up at Project Pit. You can slide in DMs. We answer that. But if you want to talk to me personally, you can contact me at Carlton Epic on all social media. Go to my site, carltonepic.com, and check us out, projectpit.com. And if you got a dream and you letting your dream live, you represent the movement, so support us, and we want to support you and be a part of this family with us. Let's get it.
Yes. Yeah. And if you guys want to keep up with me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _TheTaylorT. Then please check out my website, The Daily T Online. It's an online mag dedicated to highlighting the positive aspects of Black culture. Yes, I am here for y'all. So please check that out. And follow us too on Instagram at the Daily T _T. Yes, follow us and keep up with our movement, what we're doing. And that is all. Thanks for watching. Peace.